started my very first speech in Toastmasters just about 4 years ago. And I was making my icebreaker in Kingston, Ontario at the Queen's University Club, which is where my Toastmasters career began. But I'm really honored and feel very lucky tonight to be making this speech with someone special in the room, being my mom, because, don't get emotional. Because honestly, and I'll fast forward to, if it wasn't for my mom, I would never have come to STM. I would never have met all of you. I would never have had the best year of my life living in Seoul. So she had mentioned she was joining Toastmasters in Chappaqua, New York. And then when I went to Queens in Canada, I remember walking through the club fair really eager to be a part of university life, and I saw Toastmasters, and I didn't really know what it was about, but I just joined because I thought my mom's doing it. Lo and behold, mother stopped going to the club shortly after, so I thought just we would grow in the Toastmasters community together, and she lasted a little bit.
1 year.
One long year. I'll just repeat, this is my 4th year. But I mean, I'm very thankful that I was introduced through the club. So the reason I started with Then You Fail, because not everyone in this room might be familiar with the fact that I have a tattoo on the inside of my left wrist that I thought I would look down at it more often. But I think now the meaning behind the tattoo is just ingrained in me. So I'm going to explain it for y'all tonight to start off my speech. Then you fail. It means, what's the worst that can happen? So going into any situation thinking, what's the worst that can happen? Then you fail. For some reason, I believe we're all ingrained with the fact that failures are negative, that failures are such a bad thing. If you fail on a test or you go for a job interview and you fail and you don't get the job. But I just kind of want to help myself and remind others around me that all failures eventually lead to success. And I think someone was doing table topics tonight. It could have been Rebecca and her mom talking about they wouldn't change anything about their life. There's no regrets. We go through things, we live our mistakes, we make mistakes, we fail, but that's okay. So I decided after my first year of undergrad, thanks to my dad, because I called him sobbing hysterically and I kept repeating these words. What if I don't pass? What if I don't pass? And I was going into, might be shocking to hear, a computer science exam. I started university in the computer science program. Very confused how I ended up there. So I was going into my first final in undergrad, and it was for computer science, and I was freaking out, and I decided, who should I call, mom or dad? No offense, mom, but I called dad, and I just kept sobbing, and he was able to hear me say, what if I don't pass, what if I don't pass? And he just nonchalantly said, well, then you fail. It was so simple. Then I fail. If I don't pass the test, then I'm going to fail it. I didn't fail. I passed the course, and I never had to take it again. So I just decided to get it tattooed, and it is a message that I've been living by ever since that happened a few years ago. And the reason I wanted to share that tonight is because coming to Seoul, I really didn't think much of it. I basically, after I graduated, I had other plans. I thought I was going to be moving to London and working for the same company I worked for the past 4 summers, a learning center, and I had previously worked in London as well. But a couple of things changed, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to go teach English in Korea. And I think I just hopped on the plane and I arrived thinking, what were you thinking? Like, I didn't know the language, obviously, and I'm proud to say that I know officially like 22 or 23 Korean phrases. One being saying ilchukhamnida. Anyone's birthday is tonight. Happy birthday, I think. Okay, I think so. And basically, I was thinking about all the things that I've tried while being here, and the #1 memory is obviously water skiing and wakeboarding. Thank you, Ashley Cheon and Turkey and everyone else that participated in that. Because I never had heard of it really before, and I failed many times. And even after I was doing so well, then there was this one night where I failed and I actually couldn't stand up, and for people who are familiar, you're supposed to like ride back to the dock. The boat carried me back because I couldn't stand up. That's okay, because although I cried, I cried a lot. And I even said to Cheon and Ashley, the two that were with me, I was like, I just don't fail often. And here I was failing, but it's okay because I learned from that experience that, well, salt water is good for you, I guess. I spent so much time in salt water. Actually, I don't know river is salt water. So anyway, we just but basically, We've definitely talked about Ditzy Izzy before. I made a humorous speech about it, and Ditzy is scatterbrained, slow, so my whole reasoning behind a river having salt water is obviously false, but I don't make connections either, so that's just me, Ditzy Izzy. So anyway, I was basically just wanted to make a speech tonight to thank everyone in this room and for those who couldn't attend for this wonderful, wonderful experience. I've cried many times in the last few weeks. I'm trying to hold myself together now, but I really can't tell you enough how memorable, my experience in Seoul would have been completely different if it wasn't for STM. And I also wanted to reach out to people who are fairly new to the club. I don't know, Becca and Tamara, if you're ever planning to come back, but fairly new to the club and thinking about whether you should join. And I just want to say that 100% yes. And not just because to me it was the most memorable thing I did in Seoul by far, because I met so many great friends. I think I improved as a public speaker. What do we think? Yeah. I think I'm speaking more slowly than I have the whole year. Which I brought this tonight because I also wanted to say this means everything. And if you're debating on writing a comment for someone, or if you don't even look at the comments, please do, because when I was at Queen's for 3 years, I collected these, and this is my 1 year of comments being here, and I delivered well over 10 speeches, but I think this is mostly from the 10 speeches I delivered to accomplish my ACB. And I mean, as soon as I got on the subway, unless I was with a friend, mostly Sarah, because we're subway buddies, I would be reading this. And it was really, really nice, regardless if I won a ribbon or not, to read what you guys thought. A lot of it said, slow down, Isabel. I can't understand what you're saying, but I think I enjoyed it. But regardless, I really think that you're not going to find anything else like this. You're not going to find such a supportive, positive, and welcoming environment. And outside of the club, we do so much to help each other. And so everyone knows how I feel about each of you and the special relationships we've formed and the memories I've formed, and I'm just really thankful for it. I'm trying to think if there's any last words to say, but basically I just wanted to remind everyone to go into every experience thinking, so what? Then you fail. All failures will lead to success. That's what I want to leave you with tonight. You've all left me with so much, and I'm very thankful for my year with you all, and I'm terribly sad to leave. Very excited to go to Bali and travel with these 3 lovely ladies. But again, thank you so much. I will miss you, and come to New York and visit me. Thank you.